Welcome back to Crochet at My House. We've got all sorts of things to show today that aren't crochet related. I have a lot of things to show, so basically I'm pre-recording some stuff, so you'll get to see some stuff and then some of it will come up later on. What are you starting with, Cecile?
Let's start with the new shoes.
Okay. So I got these new sandals. They're really quite nice. They're called Earth Spirit, and they're a really good walking type sandal. So we have some holes to let air flow. There's a tab you could pull on with. The closure is Velcro. It did say Air Spirit here at one point. Here's the bottom. So the bottom's got plenty of surface for gripping. The base, although is fairly thin, it's quite hard. And although you can feel some of the terrain under your foot, it's good enough that you could walk about on like stones and things and not feel too much. Also, the inside, this part, has a sort of bumpy texture which helps your foot grip while it's in the shoe. So they're really nice.
And I've got these ones.
Yep, so Cecile got these shoes, which are a sort of sandal type shoe again. They're orange. They've got a nice leaf pattern on here. I'm guessing how you say this is maybe Demart or something. Not quite sure. Not seen this brand before. The bottom has got quite a bit of texture to it, and feels like it's pretty good for gripping the ground. It is also a Velcro closure. Yeah, they're quite nice. Bit of arch in there.
And they're nice and comfortable.
And I also got a lovely new dress. So it is a bright yellow dress and it's got spaghetti straps. And it's got grey flowers and white. It's quite pretty. I'll probably pop a photo in. So that's all of the clothing things. Right, moving on, we are going to show bits and pieces. I'll start with this. This is a little bit of a random thing. It's a boot buddy, and basically you could unscrew this. And you see it's a sort of bottle in a slightly odd shape, but you could put water, you could put soap, cleaning stuff in here, and then you could screw this back on. Just takes a wee bit. There you go. And once you've screwed that back on, you could squeeze it a little because there's a bit of give to it, and that makes the water or soap and water come out of here, and you can use it to clean your shoes. So like if you were out for a hike or something and you got in some mud, you can go like this and get the dirt off your shoe. I just thought it might be useful. Handy thing to keep in your car or your hiking bag or something like that.
And next we've got a pony.
And
it's everybody's favourite, Pinkie Pie.
Yep, so it's Pinkie Pie, and she's got this really cool heart design down her legs. and our balloon cutie mark is actually hearts as well. Her hair does need a little bit tidying up, but seems in pretty good condition. It's quite a nice one. She does have a movable head. And she's not a magnet, she's one of those ones that had a peg part attachment, because some of the play sets they had either a magnet, so you could put them on the magnet and they would, like, if you turned a table it might dance or something, or they had a peg attachment which did a similar thing, it's just their foot went onto a peg instead of a magnet. I got this very small chair. It looks really well made, and I thought it would be perfect for some of my dolls, such as this one, and it pretty much is the perfect height for her, so that's good. Works out well. It just a very small chair there. Right, you picking something else?
I'm gonna pick.
Got quite a few things to show. You can show that if you want.
We've got an audiobook.
Yep. And it says farewell to the East End on the front, and it's in London in the 1950s was a vibrant place with a close community where families often lived within streets of each other. So it sounds like a interesting read or listen, if you know what I mean. Yeah, nice little audio book there. I got a very odd thing while I was away, which is this inkwell. There you can see inside. So it's a fairly decent amount of ink you could get in there for writing with. And this is glass. This bit's metal. Yeah.
And we've got this.
And what is that?
It's a purse.
Yeah, and so you could pop open this button and then open it like this. So you've got this bit here where you could put cards, and you could pop it in like banknotes in here, and then back here you could pop in your coins, and then if you wanted to just get your coins out and you didn't need anything else, you could undo this again and go like that, and they'd come down into here. And it's a real leather one, so that's quite cool. Now we have a few different board games to show. Cecile's going to show the first one.
The first one is Uno Rummy. It's a really fun multiplayer game.
Yeah. And what do?
You have to get rows or sets. With sets, you have to get 4 different colours of whatever number. And with runs, you have to go from 1 to 12.
Yeah. Which you can see here on the back. So it shows here some playing, and it's set up like they were playing. And there's a little bit there written about it, if you want to read that. It's a really fun game. we'd never actually heard of. And so here's the stand you put your cards on. It's quite a small ledge here, so it can be a little tricky to get them on here and not drop them. And we have all of the pieces. So here's the size of the tiles, and they're in this red bag, which has been obviously used for a long time. But Cecile is going to
make another bag for it so the pieces don't fall out.
Yes. So we'll have a new bag for it eventually, so that'll be nice. And yeah, we've really enjoyed playing it. It goes up to 4 players, 2 to 4 players. And we've played it 2-player and 4-player. Both ways are fun. A 4-player is a little bit more chaotic. Why are you? 4-player is a little bit more chaotic. 2-player kind of runs a bit longer, but both ways are fun. Next, we have this extremely heavy board game, and it's called Edinburgh Taxi Board Game. And the board looks like this. And here's some information about the cards. And a little bit more written there about the game. It's quite fun. If you don't really know anything about Edinburgh, some of the questions can be really not possible to answer. But we have enjoyed it anyway. We've got all sorts of questions in here, like which city farm opened in 1982? Which was a £2 question, because you get £2 questions and £4 questions on the board, and basically you're earning your money as a cab driver while you're doing this. Here's another one. Name Hearts Terrible Trio of the 1950s. Now, some of the questions are quite out there and you're not going to know the answer. Then we've also got these. These are sound off. And somebody else would read the subject to you, this one being New York. And then you get 30 seconds to talk about the subject. And if you manage to mention any of these down here, you get £4 for each one you mention. So that's quite interesting. And then the one other type of cards that are in here are give or take. And they look like this. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. This one is give or take, best decorated taxi at children's outing. And the person collected £5. But other times you might get one and you lose £5 or £10 or something. One of my favourite parts of this board game is your playing piece are actually little taxis. Like, how cute is that? That's one of the taxis. There's also a red one. I just love the fact that you go around the board as a taxi. There isn't a sort of end to the game. It's like you choose a time limit. In some ways it's like Monopoly in that sense. And there is also this sand timer for when you're doing the sound off things, and all of the cash. We played it the other night there, didn't we?
Yeah, and it was really fun.
Yeah. It was a really good laugh. even if we didn't know the answer to most of the questions. And then lastly, we have a board game we have not played yet, and that is Labyrinth. I have literally never played this game, but I saw it in a charity shop the other day, and I thought that would be fun to try out. So this one is a little odd. The board, it doesn't stay the same like most board games. So you've got the board here, and these ones stay in place, but as you're playing you actually put cards in and they get slid along into the game from this direction or that direction or here or the other way, and then you have to plan your way to the things using those, and you get these little playing pieces. They're all different as far as I can tell. Yeah, they're all different. So you've got that green one, then there's this red one, the blue one, and the yellow one. And there's also these cards with pictures on them. Obviously we haven't played it, so we don't know how this one works, but it should be fun to try out. Right, moving on to the last couple of things that we've got for this video. We have books. Cecile's really excited to show one of them. Go on then.
I really like watching this one.
So what's his name?
David.
Yeah, David Attenborough.
And he talks all about animals and what's different about them.
Yeah.
There's a couple of
And what kind of book is that?
It's an activity book.
Yes. So what's inside it?
You've got some colouring pages, you've got some spaces to read.
Huh?
There's also dot-to-dot ones. And some pages are on the other side.
Yeah.
It's a really fun book.
So there's all sorts of different things in here. There's bits of information. We've got a spot the difference right here. All sorts of different bits in here. Looks like a really fun book. So we'll look forward to looking into that more. I've got this book. It's the Spitfire Girls, and it's got quite a lot on the back here if you want to have a quick read. I thought it sounded interesting, and so I picked it up. And there's that book. And then
There's stories from the Bramley's Hedge.
Bramley
Hedge. Wilfred to the rescue.
Yeah, looks like a nice book. And there's lovely illustrations on the inside. I got myself this really, really old book. So this is The Pleasure Book for Girls, and it's from 1929. It's really quite a pretty book. And one of the things it mentions having is with 4 coloured plates, and those coloured plates are these here, so this is one of them. And I just thought that was kind of neat that it's made a big deal about the coloured pictures. But at that point it would have been quite a big deal. It's a very nice book, and the pages are really thick. It's kind of like a normal paper, but like thicker, like a watercolor paper. It's got a lot of texture to it, and you could actually hear when I go like that. It's really quite thick pages. And then
We've got this book.
what's that?
The Page Master.
So I actually watched this when I was little, and I have not been able to find a DVD of it, but I saw this and I thought Cecile might like it. This doesn't actually do anything. We'd have to take the battery part apart and see if it would still work, but the gist of the story is still there. You still get to read it and stuff. And I do apologise if there's a noise in the background. It is suddenly just starting to chuck it down. Yeah. It's also why the lighting went a bit funny all of a sudden, but that's how it is, I suppose. Next I have this book of The Christmas Carol, the world's favourite Christmas classic, and it's Charles Dickens. And I really like this one because it's not just the story, they've put a lot of information in here. So the pages are like this, so it's like history and a story at the same time, and it shows all sorts of things. Here we have like the clothing different people were wearing, and I just thought that was really neat. Just adds a little bit more information into the story, as Christmas Carol is one of my favourites anyway. Right, go then, Cecile.
Animals of
Farling Wood.
It's a really nice book.
Yeah, so it's the Animals of Farling Wood, and it's a collection of stories. And there are a couple pictures in there as well. So it looks like a good read. And I have the last book here. So this is the smallest book I could have possibly gotten, I think. And it's Poems of Friendship. I actually got it for my friend, so I'm going to send it to her. But I just thought it was really quite sweet. And yeah, it made me think of her, so I'm going to send that away. Get a brief little look at the book. And yeah, it's got a nice cover. Underneath the cover, it's just a cream book. And inside here, it's got a nice bit as well. So I picked that up, and it's got a few cute little pictures in it. So that's everything for this video. Remember and like, comment, subscribe and ring the bell for notifications every time we put up a video.